It is so good for us to come together, to co-create community, to share our hearts, our voices, our resources, visions, values, and to affirm our covenants that we may be renewed and refreshed and hopefully inspired that we can take this experience with us out into our days in the week to come.
Our chalice lighting today is from Cy Safransky's notebook. Cy Safransky was the creator and editor of The Sun magazine. This is from his notebook, October 2004. Leaving for the office yesterday, I said goodbye to my wife, Norma, with barely a glance in her direction. "Bye," she replied, not looking up from her desk. Halfway down the stairs, I stopped. I'd forgotten she'd be leaving town that afternoon and wouldn't be back for 2 days. I stood on the landing contemplating the tyranny of my busy mind, which always has an excuse for rushing, for trying to squeeze an extra minute or two out of the day. I thought about what I lose by not making every hello and goodbye more conscious. I shook my head. To let love die from 1,000 acts of neglect? Man, that's a funeral I don't want to attend. I bounded back up the stairs.
I'm is my shepherd. I have all I need. She makes me lie down in green meadows, beside the still waters she will lead. She restores my soul. She rights my wrongs. She leads me in a path of good things. She fills my heart with songs. Even though I walk through a dark and dreary land, there is nothing that can shake me. She has said she won't forsake me. I'm in her hand. She sets a table before me in the presence of my foes. She anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, surely goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in her house forever, forever and ever. Glory be to our Mother and Daughter, and to the Holy of Holies, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
I'm still touched from singing that song, so I need to get a breath here for a second. Whew. Isn't it curious that there is much to be said about listening? One of my classes at Cabrillo Community College was speech, and the co-requisite of that class was listening. And I have to admit, when I first heard of that, it made me laugh. I'm like, what the heck? I'm going to take a class on listening? You know, it just seemed incongruous. Well, in truth, it was an incredibly insightful class. And I learned that listening is actually a skill. It doesn't necessarily come naturally. Fast forward to seminary and studying the essential skills for chaplaincy and pastoral care. This is one of my textbooks. The Wisdom of Listening, edited by Mark Brady. And it contains a wealth of insights and as many approaches on listening as there are authors writing chapters, and there are 19 chapters in here. The essence of the book, though, its ultimate lesson is the greatest gift we can give each other is to listen carefully and with all of our attention. Offering pastoral care, particularly in hospice, is truly a tender time in human relationships. There seems to be an intrinsic way of behaving when in the company of someone who is dying, a propensity to slow down and be gentle, and to pay attention to the whole person, because in these moments, each breath is precious. And when I have the honor, and I use that word intentionally, it is an honor to sit with someone who is in transition, there is something like the suspension of time. And that makes me keenly aware of the composition of each moment, the construction of the room, the materials and matter that make up the cloths and the decorations, the food and the drink and the medications, and the water and the matter that make up the beloved that I am sitting with, as well as my own. Each of these moments are unique to all else that is going on in the world, and during these uncertain moments, I am keenly aware of the inspiritedness that it holds. And though it seems solid, it is actually quite fleeting and ephemeral. And in this setting, being a good listener is beyond words. I am currently taking classes through the Center for Courage and Renewal, an organization founded by Quaker friend Parker J. Palmer. And this is another book I read in seminary. A Hidden Wholeness, a Journey Toward an Undivided Life. And the simplicity and the magnitude of what these words hold was mind-blowing, to be honest with you. Parker Palmer developed a practice I'm training to be a facilitator for, and it is called Circle of Trust. And these are similar to the fellowship's small group ministries that we do. It is where we engage our own inner work in community, together and alone, with deep listening and deep sharing. And this spiritual practice gives generous space to us to speak our truth to a circle of compassionate listeners, and especially to listen to others from our hearts without an agenda, without advising, saving, or correcting, but to make room for and thereby encourage each participant to hear their own inner teacher. And similar to the inner teacher is a theological approach that Unitarian Universalism has adopted, and one that I have taken on as a strong aspect of my own theology, and that of the still small voice within. I love the idea of having wisdom whispered to me, and sometimes it's so quiet I have to listen with all my might to hear what is being imparted. And in this prayerful moment, a pause of silence can be more valuable than all the facts in the world. The concept of the still small voice came to UUism through the New England Transcendentalists, a 19th century American philosophical and literary movement that emphasized intuition, individualism, and nature as primary sources for spiritual guidance. A few historical figures, and our UU ancestors are Margaret Fuller, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Henry David Thoreau, and Louisa May Alcott. And these are all pretty popular people in our lexicon. And they advocated for these transcendental beliefs, these in particular. Intuition. Intuition was encouraged over reason. Trusting our gut instincts instead of being talked into or rationalizing something that goes against our inner knowing. Nature, the more than human world, as a spiritual guide and a place of solace and of healing. This is my favorite. There is a firm conviction that divinity exists within each person, understood as the divine spark within each heart, as the animating essence that makes life alive. And this gives credence to the human potential, and which leads to nonconformity, self-reliance, individualism, with the goal of not being intimidated to conform into social norms, but to value independence. And I align with most of these beliefs, but the last one is a bit of a mixed bag for me. As much as I appreciate uniqueness and I celebrate diversity, everything comes from something. And we are in constant relationship with each other and with everything around us. And there's no way around that. And why would we want there to be? The idea of independence can be challenging, but still something we can do as individuals, especially when we engage in and respond to social media and the news. And that is, pay attention to what you're paying attention to. Think about what you're thinking about. Listen to what you're listening to. And consider our thoughts from a place of discernment, awareness, and reflection. There was a bumper sticker I saw that says, "Don't believe everything you think." So this kind of brings that in. Here on the west coast of California, we live amid the most remarkable natural world. The magnificent redwood trees, these ancient sentient beings that bear witness to all that goes on around them. And the grand Pacific Ocean, the largest body of water on Earth. With each wave, negative ions, which are known to improve moods and reduce stress, are released into the atmosphere. So here is an invitation for you. When things feel too frenetic and anxious and overwhelming, if at all possible, go outside. Take in the breath. Be with a tree or go look at the ocean. Allow this more than human world to witness you, to wash over you, and to be a being amongst beings. Not just a human looking at the world, but a bundle of molecules amid bundles of molecules. And allow yourself to take a deep breath, to listen, and let this experience calm your nervous system. There's a term, co-regulation, and that is described as an interactive process where one being's calmness can influence positively another, and we co-regulate our nervous systems together. This is something we can do for each other. We can be calming presence. We can be a witness. And we can listen to each other from a place of grace. And also, we can listen to that still small voice within and entrust our intuition, despite the clamoring for our attention that would have us believe otherwise. So as best as we can, practice listening. Take a deep cleansing breath to calm the nervous system and be present. This is a meditation, and sometimes it has challenges, but I want to finish my message today by reciting the poetry of my wonderful friend Kai Seidenberg. This poem is called Something Made Me. Something made me look up from my journal just in time to glimpse a bobcat silently slipping through the dry creek bed. A second later, I would have missed her. Something made me go to a particular beach just in time to catch the thrilling sight of dolphins leaping from the water. Something made me alter my plans and direction of travel to go to another beach on another day, just in time to see the rare and astounding sight of humpback whales mating near shore. Something made me take a hike on a mostly rainy day, just in time to get back moments before the next downpour. Something often tells me to include a certain something in a group class. And later, someone invariably tells me how that particular piece was exactly what they needed. So many times, for so many reasons that weren't immediately apparent, something has told me to go to a certain place at a certain time or do things in a certain way that led me to moments of grace I would never have predicted or orchestrated. What is that something?